and welcome to the Roy Rogers Riders Club.
Thrill again to the thundering hooves and cattle stampedes, barroom brawls, and shootouts of classic Western features and TV shows. Annie Oakley, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, John Wayne, and all their cowboy pals and sidekicks roam the West once more. Heroes never die on ComedyMX Channels. They just ride off into the sunset.
Buffalo Bill Jr., Buffalo Bill Jr.,
Buffalo Bill Jr. with his little sister, Calamity. Buffalo Bill Jr. brings you exciting action, thrills, and fun with Judge Ben fair and square, Wiley.
Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill Jr.
You know, there's still some folks who tell you the companies helping us open up our western frontier are doing it just for the money they hope to make. And I guess in some cases it's true. But take it from me, most of them are a lot more interested in something bigger and finer, making the good old USA the greatest nation in the world. And you can bet your bottom dollar on what I'm saying, because the job is being done by a handful of mighty courageous men. For example, take the railroad. Redskins ain't the only thing them lads got to fight. No siree. Take it from a fellow who knows. Because I depend on the railroad to haul the things I need for my business. Me having the only general store for 80 miles. And besides doing the doctoring, barbering, and a few other things, I'm raising a couple of youngsters I adopted. Buffalo Bill Jr. and his sister, Calamity.
Cracking's real easy when the ground's damp like this. But suppose you found a pebble like this on a dry trail and the bottom side was wet. What would you make of that?
Well, if the bottom side's wet, I'd say it came from a horse that just crossed the stream.
Could have come from the bottom of a man's boot.
Or a woman.
Bill, will you hitch up the buckboard for me? I got to pick up that railroad superintendent McKeever, coming in on 11:10. He asked me to arrange a meeting so he could talk to everybody.
Let me hitch up the team. Huh, Bill?
Hitching's a man's job. But come on, Judge is late and maybe you can lend a hand. Boop, boop. Hang on to the reins, sis. I'll fetch the judge. I thought I told you to hold the reins.
Why tell me? It was the horses that ran away.
Well, there's the 11:10. Well, as long as we've come this far, we might as well go pick up Mr. McKeever ourselves. Hold, Chief. Get up there.
Well, that's the story, friends. The Continental Pacific Company. Once they lay rails into Empire Gorge, will bankrupt my road. And Wileyville will become a ghost town. And the closest railroad will be 100 miles away if we have to close down.
By gilded glory. Mr. McKeever, we just can't sit around and see your Rocky Mountain and Southern Railroad, which has been a mighty good friend to all of us, forced out of business.
I don't want to sound stupid, but how come the Continental Pacific can be getting ready to lay track through the pass and your railroad can't?
Well, it's very simple, Bill. They've got the cash to do it. What profits we've made, we've plowed right back in for new right-of-ways and more rolling stock.
What's rolling stock? Horses and cattle that have roller skates?
Calamity, this is high finance. Now, you youngsters keep out of this.
I might be kind of young, but something sticks in my craw, Mr. McKeever.
Yes, Bill?
Well, rails can't cost too much. It's the labor of laying them that costs much more.
That's true, Bill. Now, we can pay for the rails, but it would take 5 or 6 weeks for them to get here from Pittsburgh. And by that time, Continental will be all the way through Empire Pass and halfway to Denver, and we'd be out of business.
Mr. McKeever, if you could get them rails some way, I'll bet you every man, woman, and child for 20 miles around here would lay them for you for nothing.
Maybe I'm throwing a wide loop, but I think I've got an idea to save the railroad and Wileyville.
Well, let's hear it, Bill.
Well, how long is Empire Pass? How many miles?
Well, about 10 miles. But what difference does that make?
Maybe all the difference. Look, there's already 12 miles of rail between the main line and Wiley Junction now, which nobody will need if your railroad goes out of business. So why can't we pull up those rails for you, lay them in Empire Pass, temporarily that is, until you get your new ones?
See, now, that idea is just about as good as if I'd thought it up myself.
Friends, if you'd be willing to do it, we can beat the Continental at their own game and have it done within 48 hours.
Let's get started.
Are you all loco or something? Once them tracks are pulled up, how do you know we'll ever get them back again? This whole thing looks like a frame-up to me.
Frame up.
Just a minute. Now simmer down. And just who are you running off the mouth like that? I don't recollect ever seeing you around Wileyville before.
Yeah, well, maybe you need some new glasses.
Mister, I've a mind to hold you for trespassing, creating a disturbance, and inciting a riot, and maybe even for conduct unbecoming even a half a gentleman.
Yeah, you don't say. And who's going to hold me? You and who else?
By Hannah, that does it. 90 days for contempt.
Why, you big-mouthed old goat.
You're all deputized to go after that highbinder.
Posse hadn't found me, I'd probably still be out there.
Well, you're the only one the posse found.
Well, how do you feel, Bill?
Still in one piece. They must have zigged and I didn't zag.
You see who they were or where they went?
No, but I'm convinced of one thing. They're plenty smart. They know what they're doing all the time. They must have knocked me out with a rock so the posse wouldn't hear a gunshot.
Yep. Well, if we want to get them rails up and over to that pass, we better not waste our time looking for them two. You men round up the rest of that posse and get them back here to town. Here.
What is it?
Never mind what it is. Drink it.
Judge, you and Mr. McKeever stay here. I started something that right now I want to see if I can finish it.
You feel up to it, son?
Sure, I feel fine.
All right, but remember, this track moving job was your idea, and we'll probably need your help. Well, needing the Rocky Mountain and Southern in business so Wileyville wouldn't become a ghost town, we all didn't waste a minute taking up young Bill's suggestion for getting tracks to lay in Empire Pass. And I guess the man who worked the hardest was Mr. McKeever himself. Or maybe it was Bill, who wasn't even there.
I tell you, Mr. Dunlap, McKeever over in Wileyville went for the kid's plan.
If that's the case, my railroad has a battle on its hands.
Well, we know what we saw and heard, don't we, Toad?
We sure do. There's just one way to handle mavericks like them Wileyville idiots.
Once and for all, we're having no bloodshed. Our franchise comes from Washington. All we need is to have them here. We're using strong-arm methods, and we'll be out overnight.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so good, Mr. Dunlap. But don't worry. We'll find some way to run them out that's legal, or looks like it.
You better find some way, or I'll see to it you don't get a red cent for that so-called help of yours.
I got it, boss.
Yes?
If we can put a crew in that gorge before anyone else gets there, even the law says we got a right to protect ourselves. We can run those Wileyville people out when they show up.
It's all very true. But we can't get our rails for at least another week.
Once we dump all this stuff in that gorge and make it look like we're working, who's to say we're not? I know I can round up enough men and rifles to hold it against all comers.
We're playing for high stakes. Let me think about it.
Now, just what are you doing here?
I was just practicing what you were teaching me, how to trail someone.
You mean a kid like you trailed me all the way up here?
Hmm?
Well, I don't know whether you're a good student or it's because you've got a good teacher. Anyway, I'm sure glad you're here because I'm going to need some help.
Gosh, Bill, I'll do anything you tell me. After all, getting the rails for Empire Pass was your idea. You're smart. That is for a boy.
Now, look, we're up against a real tough bunch of gunslicks. What we've got to do is outsmart them so there'll be no shooting.
I'm with you, Bill. What do you want me to do?
Nothing. Right now, we got to wait till it's dark.
Set it down over there.
Well, there they are.
Well, so far, so good, Kilgore. We got enough rifles to scare off an army. Got a day ahead of us tomorrow. How about some sleep?
Yeah, told you, keep an eye on this stuff. If anything happens, Dunlap and me'll be over in the old bunkhouse.
But wait a minute. What about me? I'm sleepy and I'm tired. Besides, what's going to happen to this stuff all through the night?
You better start thinking about what's going to happen to you if anything does happen to him.
Two of them just left. Now, come on, sis, and whatever you do, be quiet. One of them's still in there.
Gosh, what'll we do, Bill?
Oh, I had a good idea.
What's your idea?
It won't work. Where can I get a slingshot?
We can make one. I have some elastic.
Where'd you get some elastic?
Never you mind where. Turn around and close your eyes. Go on if you want the elastic. Close your eyes. Here it is, Bill.
If you got that where I think you got it.
Ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. But don't do any fast running because I might embarrass you. Coming back, Bill.
That's got him. He's off in the other direction now. Here, keep on the lookout.
What was what?
Horses. We heard horses.
Horses? He must have been dreaming of something. You think I wouldn't have heard him, me watching this stuff? Come on, Kilgore, get yourself some rest. I'm taking care of things up here, all right?
Oh, good morning, Mr. McKeever.
Well, we're all set to roll, Judge. I guess we got about every wagon, buckboard, and squaw drag in Wiley County loaded with rail, ties, and work gear.
Well, I'm all set. Say, have you seen young Bill around?
Well, I can't say that I have, but then we've all been pretty busy. Well, let's get started, Judge. It's almost sunup, and we got to get to Empire Pass by noon.
Well, let's go then.
Now get down into the pass and act like you're laying track. When that bunch from Wiley gets here, I'll order them to get out. That's when you grab those rifles and look tough.
While you men are with Mr. Dunlap, Toad and me have a little job to do up here. Then we'll stay on top watching just in case you need a little fast help. right here. You see, Davy Crockett used this trick to make the Indians think they were outnumbered.
Sure could fool me. Hey, what's the idea?
The idea? A regular April Fool's Day. You spot a couple up there and then go back to the wagon and get some hats to fit.
They're smart, all right. They know what they're doing. There's the judge, Mr. McKeever, now. We better get to him, Calamity.
Getting a bit of rest, Judge?
No, getting a bit of rest for Nellie. She ain't as young as she used to be.
Well, none of us.
Hey, you were asking about Bill. There he is, coming now.
Where in tarnation you kids been?
We've been scouting, Judge.
Mr. McKeever, the other railroad has men and rifles up in Empire Pass.
Well, then that's that. We're not going to start any pitched battle.
Look, you've trusted me this far. Are you willing to continue to back my play?
What do you got in mind, son?
Well, it'd take an hour to explain, Judge, and we just don't have time. Trust me a while longer.
All right, Bill. It's your idea and it's your party. Take over.
Pass the word. Here they come. Late as usual, eh, McKeever?
You're not laying track here. You're just acting like you are.
Think you'd like to try and ride through so you could prove that?
You not only think so, that's just what we're gonna do.
We've got men up there, too.
Sure.
I mean it. You move 1 foot and they have orders to fire.
Well, you better tell them to start right now.
Now, look here. We're not fooling. Possession is 9 points to the law. All right, men. Take aim. I'm not warning you again.
No one's asking you to. Go ahead and tell your hired plug uglies to do their worst.
You're forcing us to shoot you down. That's what you're doing.
At the rate you're going, Mr. Dunlap, no one's going to get shot this week.
All right, then. Let him have it, boys. Fire!
You heard him? Go on, fire!
Why those yellow... I sentence you to 5 years and hard labor.
You'd never have caught us if Miss Button hadn't swiped all those firing pins out of the rifles.
Bill, you swiped the firing pins out of the Continental Pacific's nice new rifles? Why, that's grand larceny. I hereby sentence you and that nosy little sister of yours to take this $2 bill and go get yourselves all the pie and cake you want.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And wait a minute. You better take this 4 bits, too. $2 worth of pie and cake. You'll surely be needing half a dollar's worth of castor oil.
Buffalo Bill Jr.
Now with his horse and with his gun, he's not afraid of anyone, 'cause no one's quicker on the draw or quicker to defend the law.
Buffalo Bill Jr., Buffalo Bill Jr.
He's the son of a gun.
Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill Jr.
Here he comes. The greatest rider of them all, Buffalo Bill Jr. With his little sister, Calamity. Buffalo Bill Jr. brings you exciting action, thrill, and fun with Judge Ben fair and square, Wiley. Ride the road to adventure with Buffalo Bill Jr.
These men fought and died for the 7th Cavalry. They were young men. Their commander, George Armstrong Custer, was 22 when he graduated from West Point, 37 when he died under a flag and a gun at the Little Bighorn. The history of the West is filled with the names of heroic men, young men, some of them forgotten in the dusty pages of time. But there's one young fella whose name won't never be forgotten. Not by me, anyhow. Because, in a way, I named him myself. I found him after Indians attacked a wagon train. He was a mere child at the time, parents both killed in the massacre. I found him wandering through the Black Hills with a baby safe in his arms, wrapped in a buffalo robe. The baby was his sister. I adopted the homeless Bridger kids. I named the girl Calamity. The boy I called Buffalo Bill Jr.
Where's my sister, Mr. Bauer?
How do I know?
Well, she came up here to get a lesson on the telegraph key.
I ain't got no time today to teach lessons. Look out that window.
Yeah, Apache smoke signals. That's why I'm here. Those hills have been smoking since noon.
So are these wires. The Army figures we're in for some trouble. They've even hired a special.
With soldiers on it?
I don't know. All that Army stuff comes through in code. So far, I've only been able to catch one word. Geronimo.
What time my sister head back for town?
She didn't. She rode up towards the Indian agency.
Say, where's Mr. Ford?
Inside. He'll be right out.
What's your hurry, kid? Nothing. My sister rode out this way alone. Mr. Ford!
I said he'd be right out.
Ready and cool off. Your sister rode by here half an hour ago. Fellow she's with looked like an Apache.
Well, why didn't you stop her?
This guy's full of smoke. My job as an Indian agent is to stop war, not go chasing after some crazy kid.
No wonder the judge called you Calamity. You bring calamity to everybody. How long you been tied next to that tree?
I wasn't tied there at all. Here's your rope and arrows, Tequila. I'm sorry about him. He's just something I have to put up with. He's my brother.
And who's he?
Tequila? He's my friend.
Do all your friends make you stand next to a tree while they shoot arrows at you?
Don't be silly, Bill. He was just showing me what the Apaches might do if they caught me out here.
He's an Apache himself.
No, me Mescalero.
The Mescaleros hate Geronimo as much as we do.
Have you seen the smoke signals? Geronimo's on the warpath.
Geronimo's not on the warpath. He's been captured.
He's been what?
At Tequila.
Chief Geronimo at Fort Yuma now. Soldiers soon take him to prison in faraway Florida on special train.
That's funny. I just stopped by Wiley Junction. Not even the telegraph has that.
Sometime white man telegraph, not so fast as Indian smoke signal.
Well, I don't care what the smoke says. The judge says if you don't hurry on home, it'll be your britches that are smoking. Here's your cue.
White man ways often primitive.
Let's go around the back.
Hold up, you sure came to the wrong place. I only got about $13 in the cash drawer.
How much you got in your pockets?
About $6. I work for this railroad. I don't own it.
I guess they don't pay you much. How would you like to have $10,000 in your pocket?
For doing what?
By helping catch an Apache by the name of Geronimo?
You're a little late, mister. It's coming over the wire right now. They already captured Geronimo.
Yeah, I know. And the government's paid $20,000 for him. Now, if Geronimo should get loose, you'd have to pay that reward again, maybe even double it.
If Geronimo got loose.
Well, that's where you come in. You see, we split the second reward. How about $1,000 in cash to bind the deal? You interested?
Shake a federal prisoner loose from the Army?
They're bringing Geronimo on a special train. All you got to do is listen to that key.
Military orders come through in code. I don't know the Army code.
No, but you know the railroad code. All you got to do is give me the schedule of a train, a special train, routed east of Florida from Fort Yuma. Interested?
Mister, this is a sample of a holdup. I sure like holdups.
Hurry up, sis.
Well, you're Jed Ford.
My money's still good, ain't it? Get rid of that kid.
Guess I'll have to take my next telegraph lesson some other time, Mr. Bauer. My brother says I have to go straight home.
Now run along, I'm busy.
We're both busy.
Sure.
Who was in there besides Bauer?
Jed Ford. Why?
Oh, I saw Stan Redding out in the back holding the horses.
Stan Redding works for the Indian Agency. He had to wait for his boss. Isn't it natural he'd be holding the horses?
Out front, maybe. Not in the rocks and back.
Well, they both did act kind of nervous. Besides, it's not raining.
What's rain got to do with it?
Jed Ford was wearing a raincoat
A raincoat?
and holding his Colt 44 inside his hat.
Keep riding toward Indian rocks. Lead my horse. Run 'em.
Why?
2 reasons. First, I say so. Second, I want 'em to hear both horses.
Why can't you take the horses and I'll go back?
2 very good reasons. First, you're my sister. Second, because you're just a kid.
I'm a kid. What do you think you are, Bill Bridger?
you got to do is tell me what time the special goes through Coyote Canyon. I tell Geronimo's Apaches, and his Apaches stop the train.
But it's sort of like double-crossing my own country.
No, not at all. After Stan and I collect the Apache bribe money, we trail Geronimo. Tip off the soldiers where they can find him. He gets caught again. The reward's paid again. The government can afford the money, so who gets hurt? Only Geronimo.
I guess so.
Was something wrong?
You bet.
What'll we do?
First, we'll get you home. Second, we'll tell the judge.
Each and every slice is baked so very nice in delicious sunbeam bread. It's fresh as it can be. It's full of energy. Nutritious sunbeam bread. It stays fresh so long. It's baked to make you good and strong. Delicious sunbeam bread. Sunbeam,
it's better.
Sunbeam, it's better. Each and every slice is baked so very nice in delicious sunbeam bread. It's fresh as it can be. It's full of energy. Nutritious sunbeam bread. The best you can buy for sandwiches that satisfy. Delicious sunbeam bread.
We've got to act fast, Judge. That train's probably left Yuma already.
I'll notify Army headquarters.
How?
You ever hear Samuel Morse? He invented the telegraph.
Well, you can't send a wire.
Why can't I?
Because Bauer's in cahoots with Ford and Redding.
And Mr. Bauer runs a telegraph station himself.
So we'll send a wire from some other station.
It won't make any difference.
Listen to her, Judge. She may be a dumb bunny in a lot of ways, but she knows the telegraph.
No matter where you send a message from, it goes over the railroad wires. Anybody can hear it at any station, even Mr. Bauer at Wiley Junction.
But don't you see, Judge, if you send a wire, you'll just be tipping off Bauer. And that'll give him time to tip off Ford and Redding.
The court stands corrected by the argument of the defense. What do you kids have in mind?
Well, we'll let the train go ahead. In the meantime, Calamity will tell her friend Jaquila. The Mescaleros hate Geronimo's Apaches as much as we do. And they'll help us when the train gets to Coyote Canyon. We'll catch everybody red-handed.
What do you think, Judge?
The court thinks you both better be in jail.
In jail?
If I leave you loose, you're liable to get yourself hurt while I'm gone.
Gone where?
To Fort Yuma.
How?
If I can't use the telegraph, I'll have to go up there, and I'll ride.
On that pokey old mule?
You kids walk right out to that jailhouse. You're sentenced to 48 hours protective custody. Get, go, come on.
He'll never get to Fort Yuma. Not on Old Nellie.
Yeah, he even took his medical case. I bet he plans on stopping at the Coleman Ranch to see how Mrs. Coleman's getting along with her hay fever.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, fine. You tell me how.
This symbol, 3 eagle feathers, means chief. And this one, lightning arrows, means swiftness. So it's up to the chief to get us out of here with swiftness.
Well, those Indian signs on your shirt mean something, too. The arrowhead means alertness, and the Thunderbird means bearer of happiness. So get alert and bear some happiness and figure out a way we can get out of this jail.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I'm waiting, too.
Bill, how'd you manage to get that door open?
Because it wasn't locked, you little pipsqueak.
Why wasn't it locked?
Well, how should I know? Let's roll. Saddle up. Ride straight to the Indian reservation and get your friend Jaquila, and we'll all meet at San Pedro Siding.
That's wrong.
What's wrong?
You meant interrogation.
Now, you got me so mixed up, I'm sending dots when I ought to send dashes.
Want me to run your key for you, Danny?
Look, kid, why don't you go back over to Wiley Junction and get another lesson from Sparks Bauer?
I don't need another lesson. Not to show you how to send interrogation. It's a dash, dot, 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 dot.
Look, kid, for the last time, you're getting out of here. Now, march.
Take your hands off my sister.
He hit me, Bill.
Well, I never even...
He did, Billy. He hit me right in the jaw.
He did, huh? Like this?
Oh, I hope you didn't hurt him, Bill. He's really a very honest fellow.
Yeah, well, sometimes a fellow's so honest, the only way you can get him to cooperate is to knock him out. Sit on him, Jaquila. What's that thing say?
Special train still runs on military code.
That means Geronimo's still on it. What time will he get to Coyote Canyon?
Mid-morning. There's another train running ahead of it. A mail train. Only 2 cars. Shall we use that one?
If you really know how to run that thing, now's your chance to prove it, sis. Contact the colonel at Fort Yuma.
Say, here's a correction. Not an Army code either, in straight Morse.
Where's it from?
Oh, I know where it's from. I told you before, all these messages come over the same wire. But it says they're transferring the prisoner to another train.
What train?
A mail train.
The Army's playing it smart.
What time is the mail train due to go through Coyote Canyon?
About an hour before the special. There's 2 cars on it.
Well, it doesn't make any difference what train we get Geronimo off of, just as long as we get him off. You better go out and tell his Apache bandits to be at Coyote Canyon an hour sooner.
How do you like the way I handle the key, Bill?
Say, you're great. Tequila, tell your mescaleros they want to catch a lot of Geronimo's men to get out to Coyote Canyon, pronto. But tell them there's a lot of white men on that train also.
Mescaleros have no war with white men. We fight on the Geronimo.
Good. You stay here, sis.
Did I miss anything on the wires?
No message came in, Danny. Sorry my brother hit you so hard. He was only trying to do the right thing.
Money talks, but it takes little to buy a big help to health and energy.
Sunbeam bread.
When you buy Sunbeam bread, you buy extra energy for your family, a help to better health.
Got your shopping list handy?
Add energy-packed, extra delicious Sunbeam bread.
What are you doing here?
I followed Jed Forth from Wally Junction last night. He's about a half a mile over in those rocks. Stan Redding just rode up. Thought you'd like to know.
Boy, that valley's full of Geronimo's Apaches.
It's full of Tequila's Indians, too. Those men on the train, I wish there was some way we could warn them of the attack.
There is a way.
Who's that shooting?
There goes our Indians.
Somebody else's Indians. How'd they get here?
They sure don't look like Geronimo's Apaches.
Shooting at Geronimo's Apaches. Hey, that's second try. That's a Mescalero try.
Yeah, we've been framed somehow.
Look, while them Indians are so busy fighting, the train got away. Come on, let's get out of here.
hear that whistle? It's the mail train. It got through the canyon. We caught everybody red-handed.
All but one. This time my sister's not here to take lessons, Spark. She's here to give one.
You can't believe everything you hear on that Morse key, Mr. Bauer.
You kids ought to be spanked. I rode all the way to Fort Yuma for nothing. And that ain't easy on that mule.
Huh? Calamity's getting a message. Both trains got safely through Coyote Canyon.
You'll be in Florida in that nice, cool federal prison, Chief. While us troopers out at Fort Yuma sweat out the summer on a hot army post. Be sure to write us a postcard, Mr. Geronimo.
The court recognizes you kids did a fine job, but you're under arrest for breaking jail.
We didn't break jail. You left the door unlocked.
Kind of careless of you, Judge.
Careless? Suppose there'd been a fire in that jail. Suppose I'd carelessly left you kids locked in. You get 10 days each for finding out that door wasn't locked.
10 days?
In jail?
Well, sentence suspended. Let's go home, kids. I didn't get to finish my ironing.
You'll hear the Sunbeam bakers say,
Sunbeam energy, that's the way to make our sunbeam bread the best. Better, better, better than all the rest.
bake it well, make it ring the bell.
Sunbeam must be fresh and pure. With Sunbeam energy, you'll be sure.
Sunbeam's better, that's a fact. It's Sunbeam bread and it's energy packed. Sunbeam energy, energy packed. Sunbeam energy, energy packed. Sunbeam energy, energy packed.
You'll hear the Sunbeam bakers say, Sunbeam energy, that's the way to make our Sunbeam bread the best. Better, better, better than all the rest.
Bake it well, make it ring the bell.
Sunbeam must be fresh and pure. With Sunbeam energy, you'll be sure.
Sunbeam's better, that's a fact. It's Sunbeam bread and it's energy packed.
Sunbeam energy, energy packed. Sunbeam energy, energy packed. Sunbeam energy, energy packed.
Buffalo Bill Jr.
Now with his horse and with his gun, he's not afraid of anyone. 'Cause no one's quicker on the draw or quicker to defend the law.
Buffalo Bill Jr., Buffalo Bill Jr.
He's the son of a gun.
Buffalo Bill,